What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com. Gonna do a bit of an impromptu stream. This is typically the type of stuff I would say for Fightful Select. It's an unadvertised, impromptu podcast, so to speak. But WrestleMania weekend, wanted to leave everything out there to you guys. If you want to support Fightful directly, subscribe to Fightful Select. It is a great service. It's only going to grow. You're only going to get more and more for your money. But leave a thumbs up on this video and subscribe. Wanted to kind of talk about some of the highlights of Mania weekend and what's gone on in the first day at the very least. There were a lot of really good shows, and I love that Thursday is becoming a big day for WrestleMania weekend too. I thought that WrestleCon Super Show was really, really good. Bloodsport was good. AIW was amazing. We did interviews for all those shows. DDT Pro had an event. There were just so many things going on. We'll start off with WWE. WWE announced that their statue would be of Roddy Piper. The statue that was teased, so to speak, was revealed, and it is Piper. So that's the latest, joining the likes of Ric Flair and Andre the Giant. But not a ton of WWE news in that regard. However, there was some WWE Access stuff. Punishment Martinez defeated Kona Reeves. Candice LeRae and Mia Yim defeated Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne. No Way Jose beat Eric Bugenhagen. Apollo Crews over Fabian Eichner. And Harper over Dominic Dijakovic. I understand that Harper on Twitter said that he did a Michinoku driver from the outside of from the apron to the table. That is just unbelievable, outstanding stuff. But there were a lot of other shows, man. Dean Ambrose and William Regal were at the Bloodsport event, which kind of kicked everything off. I was told Matt Riddle was not there. He actually had to film. But the Killer Cross and Davey Boy Smith Jr. match, if you want to see really what it is that Davey Boy Smith Jr. is capable of, you watch this match. This was outstanding. I could have went for the main event to have had a more definitive finish, but considering that Josh Barnett is fresh off signing his Bellator contract and Minoru Suzuki is Minoru Suzuki, I'm okay with that. This roster was just really, really good. Phil Baroni knocked out Dominic Garrini. Phil Baroni fits in pro wrestling, and he shouted out, "Yeah, steroids." And I was like, whoa, bro, maybe don't do that. He's trying to get signed somewhere is what he told me. So that ain't the way to do it. But got DQ'd for continuing the assault. That is very Phil Baroni. I like that. Guys like Chris Dickinson being on this show, Jonathan Gresham being on this show, also very, very good. You have the aforementioned Davey Boy Smith Jr. Killer Cross match. Hideki Suzuki and Timothy Thatcher. There were some Billy Robinson-esque spots busted out there. I like that. Frank Mir calling out Brock Lesnar. Said that he wants to take on Brock Lesnar in the pro wrestling world. He faced Dan Severn. So the results were Garrini over Baroni by DQ. Dickinson defeated Andy Williams via submission. J.R. Kratos defeated the former Simon Gotch via KO. Masashi Takada defeated Jonathan Gresham via KO. Davey Boy Smith Jr. defeated Killer Cross by submission. Hideki Suzuki over Timothy Thatcher by KO. Frank Mir defeated Dan Severn by submission. And Josh Barnett fought Minoru Suzuki to a draw. I think these events eventually will get more regular, and the no ropes, no pin thing, I like it. I'm a fan of it. It allows for something completely different than you would experience at any other show, and I think that's a good move. I think it's a smart thing to do. Why not? You know, if everybody's doing one thing, you go out and you do the other, and that's what happened. And I thought it was really, really smart of them to continue this even without Matt Riddle. So why not do it? Why not do it? Well, there were no shortage of other shows. You had Independent Wrestling Family Reunion. Some of the highlights there: Action Wrestling Championship. AC Mack defeated Fred Yehai. Orange Cassidy defeated Jonathan Gresham to retain the Independent Wrestling Championship. You have Kylie Ray on that show, Shotzi Blackheart. I'm not going to go through every single result. I'm going to make this more of a highlights thing, but all those results are at Fightful.com. Evolve. Well, this got headlines because Undisputed Era appeared. Now, if you doubt the decision for Evolve to go with WWE, well, they got Undisputed Era on their show, and they got Stokely Hathaway on their show. He came out and cut a promo thanking the promotion to help him get to where he was. You saw Montez Ford defeating Shane Strickland. Angelo Dawkins is on this show. I mean, they needed this. Otherwise, it was going to be hurting. I don't know that they would have had a ton of people that had a lot of buzz on this event. So I think it's a smart idea to have the likes of WWE stars on these. I mean, you had Austin Theory defeating Kyle O'Reilly, but Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish ran him off afterwards. Evolve title didn't change. WrestleCon's Super Show. Holy crap, that was a fun show. This show was so just a joy to watch. Masato Tanaka, sign me up, man. He helped make me fall in love with ECW during the TNN era. He defeated Eddie Kingston. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Shane Strickland. Ray Phoenix over Pentagon. I'm not the biggest fan of Pentagon's work. This was really good stuff. SCU against Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. Man, Orange Cassidy fits in with Trent and Chuck Taylor very, very well. There's a spot that you're either going to love or you're going to hate, where Orange Cassidy, whose gimmick is pretty much that he's the laziest wrestler in the world, got into like this light slap fight with Christopher Daniels. I thought it was hilarious. Why not? The market is cornered on serious wrestling this weekend, so why not go the other way? If you don't like it, that's okay. That's your thing. One of my highlights of the show was Jushin Thunder Liger teaming with X-Pac and Hurricane. Hurricane said that he had to beg WWE to do this match, and it was really good. Fun fact, when Jimmy Van asked me about podcast personalities, two of the first three that I mentioned were Matt Riddle and Shane Helms. The third name that came to mind immediately was Sean Waltman. I wanted him on our website real bad. He's gone on to have a great podcast of his own, but it made me happy to see this and see two people that were cruiserweights in the 90s when Liger's impression started to be felt heavily, that they were able to speak on this, and that was very cool. Dragon Lee against Cavanario, another nice one. But I'll tell you something that I really, really like that would probably go unnoticed by a lot. The Puma King, Samantha Heights, DJZ Tajiri match. Good team right there. But Sammy Guevara and LAX. And when I say LAX, that's rounded out by Diamante. Diamante, who probably should be in Impact right now anyway. It's just, she fits that team so well. And if I'm Impact, I've said this a million times, I build around the women's division. I would bring in Diamante, Ivelisse, and Mercedes Martinez as a female LAX too. Because if you want something that's already over and you want three really great talents, I don't give a shit about whatever issues Ivelisse has had with her attitude in the past. If Tessa Blanchard can repair them and become a megastar in Impact like she will, then Ivelisse can too. And I know that there's some heat between Ivelisse and Tessa, but they can get over that shit. Business is business. Those three women would be amazing additions to TNA or Impact Wrestling. My apologies. And Diamante, Conan said that when she came back from surgery, she had a match that wasn't so great, and a lot of it was on her opponent. But I want to see her back there. I know that LAX wants to see her back there. How do I know? Because I asked the guys. I said, hey, if you could have a female presence in LAX, who would it be? And they brought up Diamante, and they brought up Mercedes Martinez. Interestingly enough, did not bring up Ivelisse, who was supposed to be in the company last year, but had all of her stuff canceled the day before. WrestleCon Super Show was a lot of fun. WXW America show. Jordan Grace was in action. Joey Janela showed up after the WXW Unified World Wrestling title match and challenged Bobby Guns. That was some fun. LAX was on that show too. Impact or DDT Pro rather. So you had Joey Ryan and Royce Isaacs against Yano and Honda. This, of course, playing back the original Dong Flipper, or at least the one that got all the attention. This show wasn't for me as much, but I was glad that Fightful's Jason Kincaid was there. That's something to look out for. Again, full results over there at Fightful. MLW Rise of the Renegades. Brian Pillman Jr. defeated MJF. Jacob Fatu in action beat Barrington Hughes. I get uncomfortable watching Barrington Hughes, man. The wrestlers don't look like that anymore, and I want the guy to be healthy. I want to see Barrington Hughes wrestle for a long time. Ricky Martinez and Low Key beat some Jabbas. They had a tables match, and of course, the GIF that's flying around is of the Hart Foundation doing their what is it? Canadian Doomsday Destroyer. It's a Canadian Destroyer off the shoulders of Davey Boy Smith Jr. Amazing. L.A. Park defeated Pentagon Jr., and then Mance Warner attacked L.A. Park after the match. But Tom Lawler beat Jimmy Havoc in a New York City street fight, retained the MLW title. Impact Wrestling show. All right, so, man, holy crap. Production was bad on this. Audio in and out all the time. Josh Matthews and Don Callis on different levels. I don't get it, man. The X Division Ultimate X match, it was fine. Ace Austin was a late replacement. Teddy Hart got scratched. Ace Austin had the spot of the week so far. He climbed to the top of the X Division structure and did a flip dive off of it to the outside. Amazing spot. Holy crap. It was outstanding. I don't know about Johnny Impact winning this. Does your world champion really need to win this? And then it just monopolizes so much, man. I guess I'll see how it plays out. Team Lucha Underground, yeah, they still exist, I guess. They beat Impact. What are you doing if you're Impact? Why on earth are you putting over an entity that probably will not exist anymore? Over Moose, Eddie Edwards, Tommy Dreamer, and Cage. What the hell is going on here? Doofy. Just dumb. Taya Valkyrie retained her Knockouts Championship by defeating Katie Forbes, Jordan Grace, and Rosemary. Man, Taya's really growing on me, man. She's getting better and better and better. LAX defeated defeated Low Key and Ricky Martinez. You know Low Key ain't taking that pinfall, my man. Tessa Blanchard, Joey Ryan. I liked it, man. Tessa's a star. Don Callis was very counterproductive to this match, man. Don Callis, who called All In at points, he either doesn't know Joey Ryan's shtick or pretended he didn't. Why is he doing that? Why? You're supposed to educate the viewer. Rich Swann defeated Flamita, retained his X Division championship. Yeah, I enjoyed the Tessa Blanchard stuff, man. Sami Callihan defeated Jimmy Havoc. Ooh, they were swapping body fluids. Lucha Brothers defeated RVD and Sabu. I spoke to RVD yesterday, by the way. More on that coming soon. He is in it for the money. Let me tell you. RVD is in it for the money. Lucha Brothers defeated RVD and Sabu. I'm glad to see RVD back in Impact Wrestling. I think that's a veteran name that they can really use and implement and add that is a good idea. I like that. Smart idea. Interspecies Wrestling Boner Jam. Can't pretend I caught a ton of this one. But you got Nick Gage there, Chris Dickinson, LSG. Some decent names on that show, but I missed most of the Boner Jam. AIW Slumber Party Massacre. Now, man, I encourage you guys, go listen to my interview with John Thorne. I know there are a lot of you guys who just know about WWE and probably don't know a lot about AIW. That's where EC3 came from. It's where Kevin Owens puts them over a lot. Shayna Baszler was there. Matt Riddle. You may know of them because Matt Riddle trashed them on air. They are very professional. They are very good. Quite frankly, that situation was on Matt. It was. But they had Slumber Party Massacre. And I got all the time in the world for John Thorne and AIW, and I respect them for the way that they do things, and they do things different but traditional, and it is an approach that I really adore in pro wrestling. For example, they broke the news on our interview. They're bringing in Savio Vega for their JT Lightning Memorial Tournament. I like that. But then they're doing a tag team tournament the next day in June. It's going to be primarily their tag teams. I like that. I think it's awesome. And on this show, they had Scott Steiner just destroy Hornswoggle. And if you want to know how it came about, the full interview is up on Fightful.com and our YouTube. But he said that Hornswoggle has become one of his good friends, John Thorne. And he was like, I want to do something different. He was bummed about not being on a lot of stuff last year. And they brought up Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner, however, went radio silent for about 5 or 6 weeks after he found out he was booked against Hornswoggle. And then contacted John at like 4 in the morning on Wednesday saying, you know, I had a really poor experience in this WCW midget tossing competition. Exactly what you would expect. Scott Steiner won that match. Nick Gage defeated Mance Warner. Mance Warner is gaining a really high profile around the country as well. They had Joshua Bishop defeated Dominic Guarini in a submit or surrender match. Colt Cabana and Space Monkey defeated Ethan Page and MJF. MJF and Ethan Page, I heard, had a fun one today, too. I'm going to try to take all that in as well. But you also had Shinjiro Otani, who John Thorne told me that he jumped at the chance to book. I mean, this is a guy who outside of a weekend, I think in like 02, 03, hasn't been in the States, I don't believe, since he lost the title to Malenko in WCW, maybe, right? Whew. If you're in the live chat, let me know what you're looking forward to this weekend. Bobaruski says Swoggle versus Gage is still coming up too. You know what's funny? This show, had the first WCW Cruiserweight champion in Shinjiro Otani and the last WWE Cruiserweight champion in Hornswoggle. Amazing. Amazing. Tonight is, I just watched the Shimmer show. Some good talent on there. I watched, I can't remember what I watched ahead of that, but I'm watching Penis Party at some point, watching Spring Break at some point. NXT is tonight. But, nothing, how do I put this? Every year, I wonder, should I go to WrestleMania? Should I go to WrestleMania? And I'll be quite honest with you guys. No disrespect to anybody that's worked for us in the past. I wondered, would the site run smoothly if I weren't anchored to my desk right here? Moving forward, it can. Jeremy Lambert has been amazing. Please go and follow him on Twitter. Show Jeremy Lambert some love at Jeremy Lambert 88. Thanks to him and Andrew and David Tease, it was like, this made me think, okay, I need to go to Tampa. But the first thing that made me want to go to New York was when Wale's people reached out to me. And they're like, hey, we'd like for you to be at this event. We would love your coverage. And I was like, man, you know what? I would love the coverage. Wale is a wrestling fan. The first time I spoke to Wale, he was asking me for a New Japan stream at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I interviewed Kaz for this show. And he takes a lot of pride in what he's helped put together with this Wale Mania show as well. And you see all the people there. And I see a lot of my friends, a lot of you guys that I've met through Fightful, because I consider you guys my friends. And I see so many of my friends at Wale Mania, and I'm like, that's what I want to go for. If I go to WrestleMania weekend, I'm probably dipping out before WrestleMania, probably flying home and covering that here. But when I see Wale have that show and all the people that are there, and New Day were there, and Charlie Caruso was there, that's pretty awesome. Now, what I heard killed the vibe a little bit. Enzo showed up. Unadvertised. And I guess some people left. But, hey. I hope Enzo can repair himself and make a nice career. I liked his shoot interview. It was very interesting. It was very, very interesting. But Wale Mania is something that I would enjoy going to and hope to next year. Somebody says, did Wale have issues with WWE? I don't believe so. WWE talent is there often. Joseph Boza says Blackcraft is tonight at midnight. John Morrison defends against David Starr. Yeah. Next year it's in Tampa. If there's anything that I missed, too bad. There's a lot of stuff. We have live coverage of Rev Pro today. We had WrestleCon US versus the World. That's what I was watching today. We just got a ton of stuff. David Tease is working his ass off to cover all this stuff. Jeremy Lambert is picking up what falls through the cracks and doing an incredible amount of work. But guys, thank you all so much. I'm going to try to be back Saturday afternoon for a day 2 wrap up. But we got that live post show tonight. Till next time, guys, we're out.